All right, so this is Red Pill Radio, and I am Inoki the One, and you can say your name.
I'm Sasha Frost.
Yes, so I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so how was Pride for you? Let's start with that.
I actually wasn't here for Pride. I went to Chicago, but Chicago also has their Pride, and so their Pride is a little different from Houston's Pride. So their festival and then their parade is split into two different weekends.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could get Pride in 2 weeks. So
yeah.
The more Pride, the merrier, right?
Yeah. So you were there the whole 2 weeks?
Well, so I was there the weekend of Houston Pride.
Yeah.
And then I came back, and then I was here for the last weekend in June.
Okay.
And I was performing at Hamburger Mary's that weekend.
Cool.
Yeah.
So okay, let's start from the very beginning. So what inspired you to do drag in the first place?
So I was that little gay boy that would be at the bar. And I started in College Station. So I went to Texas A&M University. And when I was there, we had one gay club.
Yeah.
And I used to dance. We had some boxes, and I would dance to my heart's content. And so a friend of mine hosted a charity event called the Gender Bender Ball. So everyone dresses as the opposite gender.
Yeah.
And every year they choose one student to perform.
Yeah.
And so my senior year, they asked me if I was willing to perform.
Yeah.
And at first, that's kind of when drag was still not quite as popular as it is now, or as mainstream as it is
Especially
now.
A&M?
Yeah. A&M is a very...
A&M, I was like,
Yeah, it's a very conservative school.
Yeah.
So I was very hesitant at first to even do it.
Yeah.
But I figured it was for charity, and it was for a good cause. So I was like, why not? And so I got up there, and the weekend before, I had gone out and bought this $20 wig and some $20 heels, and a friend of mine did my makeup for me.
Yeah.
And so I got up on that stage, and I borrowed a dress from a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And did a Christina Aguilera song from the movie Burlesque, and it was just kind of an adrenaline rush. Like nothing I ever felt before.
That's awesome.
And so I was like, I like this. And so at first it was kind of like I would do it every now and then. Yeah. And then it kind of progressed into me doing it more constantly.
Wow. So do you sing as well?
No, I'm mostly just lip sync, yeah.
Okay.
Lip sync and dance. So I'm the high energy dance queen where I'm giving you kicks and splits and flips and
I had
all
to
that
see
stuff.
this.
Yes.
Cool. So growing up, how was where are you from originally, and how was it growing up?
So I'm originally from Houston. I grew up in the Cypress area. Okay. And so growing up, I mean, I was always bullied because I was always more of the effeminate child. Mm-hmm. And so I always had those characteristics where a lot of the things that I did were more girly. Yeah. And so I was always picked on and bullied. And so when I was in middle school, I joined theater and choir. And so those kind of became my creative outlets. Yeah. And so that's kind of what making friends in those groups is kind of what got me through school and what helped me enjoy school.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how was it with family? Do you have siblings and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I actually have 2 younger siblings. We're all 7 years apart.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a big gap between all of us. Yeah. And my family actually doesn't even know I do drag. The only person that knows that I do drag is my little sister. Yeah. And one of my cousins on my stepdad's side of the family. And they've both actually, my cousin came last weekend to see the show at Hamburger Mary's. And my little sister came a couple months ago.
Wow. Yeah. So you have 2 little sisters?
One younger brother, and then my little sister is the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself as a gay man, right?
Yeah.
So, do they know you're gay?
Yeah, they know I'm gay.
They just don't know you do drag.
They just don't know I do drag.
Okay. Yeah. How do you... Are you afraid to talk to them about it, or what is it?
I think it's just more of like... My family was very, like, super supportive of the fact that I was gay. Like, they were actually the ones that kind of came out and told me that they already knew that I was gay.
So, they came out to you?
Yeah, so it was really more of them coming out to me and, like, kind of reassuring me that, like,
it's okay.
Their love was like unconditional.
That's
which was
awesome.
Really nice.
Yeah.
And obviously that's like what every child wants to hear.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
It was like a weight lifted.
Yeah.
But my parents are kind of like, they're a little stuck in like their own world.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they would fully like understand.
Yeah.
What drag is or like why I do it. I think it would take a lot of explanation.
Yeah.
And so
okay,
I just don't know how to explain it to them.
If you were to explain it to them right now.
Yeah.
Because of course there's other people that's gonna watch this or whatever and listen. So if you were to have to explain it to them, knowing how they are, how would you explain drag? Because I was gonna ask you, what do you feel like drag is anyway?
Right. So for me, it's kind of like it's not so much about like becoming a woman.
Yeah.
For me, it's more of like the performance aspect of it. I enjoy the performance aspect of it. And not that I don't enjoy like the makeup part of it, because I think obviously that takes like artistry also.
Yeah.
When I first started, I was not good at makeup, and it took a lot of like practice and help from other people in order to get to where I am now. But I think it would just be more of like explaining it to them that like it's not so much that like I obviously don't want to become a woman. That's not my goal. Mm-hmm. There are some people where they start doing drag and drag is kind of like an opening door to them figuring out that they are transgender. Mm-hmm. But that's not the case for me. Like, I know I'm a gay man. I love being a gay man.
Yeah.
For me, it's more of just like a creative outlet. And so that's how I would explain it to them, is like, I do this because, so as a boy job, I am an accountant.
I was going to ask about that
very
too.
Very different. So like,
wow,
being an accountant, it's very like logical, technical, and mathematical. And so like doing drag kind of like combines like being balances like both sides of like my personality. Yeah. So I think that's how I would like explain it to them. And I think it would take like a lot of conversation for them to like understand exactly what drag is and like why people do it. Because a lot of people do it for different reasons. Mm-hmm.
So what's your biggest reason for doing drag? Because I know you said you like the adrenaline rush and performing and things like that. But overall, what is the biggest reason, if you had one reason?
If I had one reason, I'd say it's just the feeling that you give to other people when you're performing.
Yeah.
When people come to watch our drag shows, they're going there to like be entertained and to forget about the problems that they have at home or in their life. Yeah. And so like for me to be able to like give that to them, that's like a really rewarding feeling.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what has been like your favorite moment with like a audience member on stage that you can think of?
Oh, there's so many, especially at Hamburger Mary's. Yeah. So I do the Sunday brunch shows. Yeah. And so we get tons of little children. And so that's always like the best feeling is like when you're performing and this little child is like handing you $1 because it's like it's just the most adorable thing in the world. Those are always the best feelings, and like being able to like seeing just like how excited they are about like a drag show is like it's just a really cool feeling because it goes to show you like how much our world is like progressing. I guess.
For sure. So what do you feel like the influence of the drag race has had on drag culture and acceptance and things like that?
Oh, like I said earlier, it's definitely made it way more mainstream. In the gay community, I mean, people now like view drag as like this amazing thing, and back when I started, like, it wasn't something that people wanted to do, and it was like something that was looked down upon by other gay guys. And now I think it's become something that's like more accepted, and people are more like, for example, like people are more willing to date someone who does drag because they understand that it's just like a performance or an art versus like, this is who I am. Versus like back when I started. So I've been doing it for 6 years. And back when I started 6 years ago, that wasn't the case at all. So drag race has definitely helped the way people view drag now. I
was going to ask about that. Like, how is dating life being
a drag queen?
And then like, does it help? Does it hinder now? Because like, you're on stage, there's all these people. So
so it's definitely a mix of both. Because you do a lot of times get people who will gravitate towards you just because you are such a public figure. And then it is a hindrance because of the same thing. You are such a public figure that like some
like,
guys
who are you
are
talking to?
Some guys are like, I don't want that much attention being put on me because of who you are. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Luckily, I have been dating someone for like the past 4 months. And he is very supportive of the fact that I do drag and is very willing to help me in whatever I need.
Awesome.
So it's really nice.
That is really nice. So how has your like overall dating life been since, like, when did you come out? Because you said your parents kind of like told you, but when were you
I originally came out to myself as gay, like fully gay, back in 2011. And then my parents came out and told me that they knew that I was gay in 2014. So I guess I've been out to my family since 2014, but I've been out to myself since 2011.
And how old were you at that point?
So in 2011, I was 20. And then 2014, I was 23. So I had just graduated college and like moved back to Houston and moved back home with my family. And so,
So whenever you came out, did you start dating? And then also, when did you first, like, because for me, I came out around the same time, like when I was 20. But I knew when I was like 5.
So I knew when I was like 8 years old, but granted, if I look back and think back, I knew when I was like 4 years old. So I was a huge Power Rangers fan. And I used to, anytime I like pretended that I was a Power Ranger, I was always the Pink Ranger. And I was always marrying the Green Ranger. Because I thought he was like the cutest guy ever. So I should have known a long time ago. And then my mom and I used to live with my grandparents back when I was really young. And so on my grandparents' porch, I used to have one of those little like karaoke machines that has a microphone. And I would just sing Selena all the time and just imitate like all her moves.
That was like the first drag.
So that was like the first drag.
That's awesome. So when you turned 20, like, how did your life change when you first like identify, okay, I'm gay, and now what happens now? How did that feel too? Like, did you grow up in like a religious household?
So I grew up in we used to go to church a lot, and so it definitely took a while for me to come out as gay. We went to a non-denominational church kind of around my high school years, and again, I knew that I liked guys at that time, and I knew I had feelings for guys, and I confided in like one of my youth leaders that I liked guys, and at that point their response was, let's pray to get that demon out from inside of you.
Wow.
And so kind of around when that happened, I was just like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't change who I am.
Yeah.
I've tried to like pray and like not be gay.
Yeah.
And it clearly isn't working. So like I just am who I am. And I don't think that I need to pray a demon away because I don't think that I don't have a demon inside of me.
Yeah.
So I removed myself from that church, and I kind of never I never went back to a church. Yeah. Kind of after that, but I mean, I still very much believe that there's a God. Yeah. I just don't agree with like all of the Christian values that tell you like if you're this, you're going to hell. Yeah. I don't believe I had a whole conversation about this last night, and then I did a podcast on spirituality and sexuality, and we just talked about it, like the whole conversation about like, you know, our upbringing and what we feel now, and just almost everybody has their own like way of thinking of spirituality, because I feel like it's almost like a red pill moment. Like you have to step out of the norm when you come out, because you're like, all of a sudden like this doesn't match because I haven't changed, but all of a sudden there's a demon inside of me, even though all you know is I'm gay. You don't know what I've done in my past or like how I treat people. So it's like something's wrong with this. So now I have to go on a different path. Right. So you kind of feel like you've gone on that. I feel like performance I feel like that's a spiritual practice. I don't know how you feel about it, but you're literally like bringing life to people. Like literally get your life. Yeah, for sure. So like, I never thought of it that way, but now that you say it that way, I can see I feel like it's beautiful. Like people go there on Sundays, and they're like, let me get my life today, and like they go on and they're happy. Like that's really cool. Yeah. So I have one more question for you. Okay. So if you were to talk to your younger self and give yourself some guidance based on where you are now, like maybe even in high school when you're being bullied or whatever the case may be, what would you tell yourself to get you to where you are now? I would definitely say don't be afraid to be different, because it's those differences that are going to make you stand out and shine as an individual. And it's those differences that are going to draw other people towards you and completely change your life for the better, because the people that I've met now that I'm my more authentic self, they've made my life so much better. Yeah. And I mean, that's what I would tell my younger self. That's awesome. Yeah. This has been so awesome. Yeah, thank you for so coming. Much. Like, your vibe is amazing. Thank you. I'm going to have to go and see you on a Sunday. Yes, definitely. So I've actually never been to a drag show. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I have to go. Come to one. I have to go on Sunday. Yeah. So you may see me on Sunday. Okay. And thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, that is a wrap.